Good evening and welcome everyone to Loveless Stadium and to our opening home game. Taking the field for your pregame entertainment is our Buena Marching Colts. The Colts have been working hard through the summer and into band camp to light the spark for this exciting season of marching. Tonight we will be performing our competition show in the future performances leading to the state championships in Phoenix. Tonight, for our first tune, we present our fight song. Please sing along with our marching Colts. After the marching Colts storm the halls on home football games, we like to present a song at the Buena Big Clock. This week's selection was Runaway Baby. For our last song of pregame, we would like to honor our country and everyone who defends it. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise as our Buena JROTC presents our national colors and for the playing of the Star-Spangled Banner. Please remain standing after the national anthem for the exit of the colors. Marching Colts would like to thank all the parents and the alumni for their hard work and all their help. Thank you, band parents. And now please join us in this salute to our Buena Fighting Colts.
Welcome, sports fans, to Cochise County Sports Network. Tonight's live broadcast brought to you by Lolly Automotive Group for all your new and used car needs. Edward Jones Investments, making sense of investing. Apex Network Physical Therapy, come heal with us. Cochise Lock and Safe for all your lock and safe needs. Nova Home Loans, check out the Leon team, highest rated lender in Cochise County. SSVEC, owned by those we serve. And last but not least, Lights Out Family Fun Center. Tonight we have the Buena Colts taking on the Catalina Foothill Falcons, live and in full HD, only on Cochise County Sports Network.
Well, we're back for a brand new season of Buena. David Lanstra, as we get ready to bring you a brand new season as the coach. Pretty amazing game.
Yeah, high school football is always fun because you never really know what to expect. Buena's bringing back the focal point of their offense. Or Bond. But then Catalina, they graduated almost 4,000 yards of their offense. And so you don't get the press fare that all the other levels get. So it's fun to be here and see what both teams show up with.
The Colts are coming back after a really good season last year that kind of caught people a lot of hunger. As we've talked about last year when we were calling the games, they tend to go out there and turn it into a dogfight. Teams last year were pretty evenly matched when it came down to all the stats. They're bringing back Gio for the wide receivers, and Catalina is not bringing back.
Last year was 6 wins, and last year they showed up, and they were 1 win away from actually making the playoffs for the first time, I think, since 2013. And so that was huge for the program.
And Gio Bourbon alone putting up over 1,000 yards, 1,300 yards passing. His 2 big wide receivers, obviously he lost Pryor, who was a senior last year, who had 1,000. Now, the one good save. Yeah, Caleb Bryant. Caleb Bryant usually would work a couple different positions, playing wide receiver and running back at times.
Into the backfield, try to get him a little bit more touches, and that's what football is about, getting your most explosive players the most touches they can in open space.
But the game is the Colts are showing up with a fairly large team. As the Catalina Foothills Falcons, they're showing up.
Yeah, and I mean some of that's attributed to the Catalina's a school from up in Tucson, so they're traveling a little bit. But with the success that Buena had last year, they were able to recruit some more players, have a bigger team this year, and you just watch the excitement both teams have for the start of this season. The student sections turned out today. They're doing a blackout, trying to bring all the school pride they can out for the first game of the season.
At free safety, a senior, number 7, Jacob Murphy.
So right now I think what we're going to see a lot of this game, not sure what we're going to expect from the Falcons, but what I think we're going to expect from the Colts, probably a very similar offense, probably with a lot of upgrades. And we're going to get an idea to find out exactly how they're going to start this season off. But I know they're very, very optimistic.
Warmed up purely in full shotgun, full wide, So at least 3 wide lined up in the standard I formation. And which one prevails tonight?
So the Colts are going to go ahead and they're going to be kicking off to the Falcons as we're getting ready to start the 20.
By Texas Roadhouse. Thank you to Ice Incorporated and Ziggs Grooming for all the way in.
For those of you who are watching, go ahead and like it. Go ahead. And here's the kickoff, and we're away with this 2018 season. Ball's received around the 10-yard line. He's got some empty blue space, got just a kicker, nice little bump.
Yeah, the cat. And luckily for the Colts, Tebow was back there after making the. I mean, Catalina will take over and.
That was good hustle there. And on the kickoff, the Falcons are lining up.
48-yard line.
Tight end goes in motion, handoff right up the middle, and he's going to make about 7 yards. To what we were talking about before, right at the beginning of the game. The Colts are lined up in a 4-3 defense. Missed an arm tackle. Falcons player brought down around
20-yard gain for them, and Buena had that stopped in the hole, but create space. Football is all about getting your best athletes in.
Falcons back up. First down. Got 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers. Put a guy into motion, not seeing. Going to hand the ball off again. Nice big hole. He slashes real quickly. With just a few minutes into the game, the Falcons start off with kind of a stabbing rushing attack right up through the middle. 3 or 4 straight plays just right into the guts of the Colts defense.
Yeah, that was 3 running plays, and they got 52 yards really quick. That last one was just 1 quick cut back to the left, and there was wide open spaces.
Falcons set up for an extra point. Is up, and it is good. So right there, right off the bat, what we have is the Catalina Foothills Falcons showing up ready for a football game, 7-0. Out on the field, and we'll see what they can go ahead and bring to return the favor.
Yeah, we'll see what that does to the momentum of Buena. They came in all high up on what the season had to offer, and Catalina came out and gave them a punch. So let's see what the counter punch is and what Buena can offer.
Some of this could be, the first game back after a little bit of a layoff. Maybe a few of these young men, first time playing varsity football. So working out some of the jitters. The Colts are going to go ahead and they're going to have 3 returners in the backfield.
Remember, Buena fans, that
Number 5, Bryant, deepest back.
Kick. Go to the main gate where the Boots Club tables, and you'll see the Arizona Southwest Credit folks to come out
Those of y'all who are also watching this game, if you're looking to support the team, there's plenty of the Buena Colts coupon tickets that are being sold around town. Look for those, get some good deals. The kick is up. It's going to sail right overhead into the end zone. That'll be a touchback.
And that's a huge weapon for Catalina. If they have a kicker, they can put it in the end zone every time. Difference you guys might see between high school football and every other level is once the ball crosses the end zone line on a kickoff, no matter if you catch it or not, it's a touchback. So if you can put it back there every time, they don't have to worry about the big returns like Catalina had that last time.
So we're going to get to see the Colts coming back out here again with their good quarterback, Gio Bourbon. A little bit of muscle. Definitely just bigger than he was last year. He's got a pretty good-sized line this year as well. Lining up. Got 2 running backs either side. Now, last year, the handoff that they would do, and we'll see if they bring that back. Trying to find the right football.
All right, folks. Not just on Facebook Live this year, we're also on YouTube. We also have an embedded video directly on our website right now, and we'll be releasing a mobile app for Android and iOS here at the end of August. So plenty of ways. YouTube, if you just want to check us out online, the options are all there for you. Full HD as always. So make sure to check it out and show the Colts your support.
Bourbon takes it from the shotgun. Nice little pass right over the middle to number 30, and that's going to be a first down. Bourbon last year, he showed under some amazingly stressful games a lot of poise.
Yeah, and that was a really good touch pass. The tight end was able to sneak right past the middle linebacker, and there's a nice little be open, I think. And Bryant comes around on the right end, and he's able to pick up a nice 7-yard gain, forced out of bounds.
Up across the 35.
And that'll bring up 2nd and a long 2 for the Buena Colts. And as you can see, Buena's trying to push the tempo a little bit. They're not huddling at all. They're getting right back to the line. And they're going to try to take advantage of some lineup miscues by the Catalina Foothill Falcons.
Bourbon back in the typical formation. Actually, he's going to move. Moves number 7 out. He's got a single back there with him. A little bit low snap, but he's going to pick up the ball, and he's going to scramble, and he's going to be just short of a first down right there on the 40.
Yeah, and that's probably Bourbon's biggest asset is his broken plays. Like that should have gone nowhere. He dropped in the backfield, but he was able to pick it up and gain 2 yards, and now they're going to measure it to see if it's a first down.
You know, another thing, with the Colts last year that we had a fun time watching, the insides, both with offense and defense, that sometimes when you've got some teams that maybe, but you just show up there with a lot more heart and maybe a vicious streak, you tend to get some things done. And I think the Colts are probably going to try to instill a little bit more of that this year as well, now that they got just such a
Yeah, last year they were very proficient around the outside, and this year they're probably going to try to. But again, where they make their money is getting their athletes in space and getting into one-on-one matchups and winning those matchups.
Colts coming back up to the line. It's down 2 wide receivers, 1 tight end to the right, 2 running backs kind of in the wishbone. Bourbon in the shotgun. Gio takes the snap. Oh, he's going to get swallowed up here. And this is that play that they played to such effectiveness last year, where it's an option where he can either hand it off to one of the 2 running backs that can dash inside or pick it up and pull it out and throw to the guy going right over the middle.
The end just did a nice speed rush, and he beat the running back that was supposed to pick him up. And he kept a hold of Gio. Gio tried to get away, but he had no room to move.
Colts show up. They're going to have 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end to the left, single running back. Pulls up. Nice pass to a wide open, and that is a Colts.
And that's really what we ended up seeing last year all the time. Is Gio has a really nice deep ball. He's able to put a lot of air under it and let his wide receiver just run under it for days.
Colts scrambling right up there. It doesn't look like they're going to go for an extra point. They're going to go ahead and they're going to go for 2 and try to put this one back up. Oh, check that. No, they are lined up for the extra point. Got a bit of a swinging gate technique going on for the extra point. That one even had me fooled, David. Kind of muffed the so the Colts, a little bit of a bobble there on the snap, and that leads to a loss of an extra point. So what we have at 9 minutes left in the first quarter, the Catalina Foothills Falcons 7, Sierra Vista Buena Colts 6.
The Native Grill, Lolly Automotive, the Longhorn Restaurant, Tombstone, TW Corporation, and 3D Management and Consulting.
Colts set up on the 40 for the kickoff.
And as we mentioned, it's going to be a contrast of styles all night. Buena had no effect on the ground that drive, but they got 75 yards in the air for the touchdown, while Catalina had 52 yards on the ground for their first drive.
Tebow's kick is up. Goes deep. Looks like it's going to bobble back into the end zone. That'll be a touchback. So the Colts are going to bring their defense back out, try to get an early stop. The Catalina team is showing up with a bit of a mean streak.
Yeah, they're here to prove that even though they graduated a bunch of seniors last year, it's still going to be the same hard-nosed football that they're known for.
First and 10 Falcons at their own 20.
Quarterback underneath the center, tight end, hands off to the running back, got a flag on the play. He's going to get smashed trying to run up the middle.
Yeah, the wide receiver out here on the wide side for Catalina never got set. So that'll be a legal procedure penalty against Catalina, and they'll move him back 5 yards.
Illegal shift against the Falcons. The ball will go back to the 15-yard line.
So it'll be 1st and 15 for the Falcons. The Falcons are led by their 23 in Bay. And they've got some pretty good sized linemen down there as well. Now, the Colts are also bringing up, they're running a 4-3 defense. So that means they're going to have 2 big bodies. 2 big bodies right up in the middle, 2 big bodies on the outside. They're floating 4 linebackers, so that'd be a 4-4. Holmes back underneath center. He's going to hand the ball off. They're going to cut up. It's going to get a little bit of yardage, probably makes up what they lost on the penalty, and that'll bring up 2nd down. It's like about a 4-yard gain.
Yeah, that was a nice inside trap play by them. They had an offset running back, and they just handed off to him on the inside with a pulling guard. Opened up some space for him.
Home underneath center's got 3 wide receivers and an offsides penalty again on number 3 for the Falcons. And that should move them back a little bit. Two penalties here in the first quarter for the Falcons. Now again, it's still early in the game, and we got a lot of game left to go, David. But one of the things that we're going to have to pay attention to again is this Falcons team didn't show up with a lot of players. So as the game kind of wears on, we'll see the conditioning and what kind of effects that's going to have.
Yeah, but these are also 17 and 18-year-old kids in high school. Remember when I was in high school, I'd play 50 or 60 snaps a game. Yeah, you're tired afterwards, but they have all the adrenaline in the world right now.
I was talking more about our ability to stay standing up the entire game. Handoff, little bit of a stutter step as he tries to get around that right end and gets kind of squashed. It's going to bring up third down, be 3rd and 10.
1 yard line. It'll bring up the 3rd and 9. Falcons at the 21.
So 3rd and 9 for the Falcons, and see what the Colts do to maintain some of this pressure.
Yeah, and it looks like the Falcons just ran off their running back. I think this will be the first time we see the Falcons open it up a little bit and throw a pass, so we'll get to see what the Buena secondary is made of.
Home back to pass. He's going to get a little wide open bootleg right along the sideline. He's going to get shoved out. So that'll be a first down for the Falcons. And that was almost like a little bit of a play action. Guy kind of running around the back end. Quarterback sweeps out, hits the guy along the sideline, and he's wide open.
And that just shows what a good running game does for you. All the linebackers bid in on the fake, and then their tight end just squeezed out into the flats for a nice 18-yard gain.
Home back underneath. Your number 6 running around. They're just going to hand it right up the middle. And he's going to get stopped, but he's going to pick up a little bit of yards. Once again, you know, with the Cochise County Sports Network being this online medium, trying to bring it to you to support these school sports, all school athletics. We do football, we have wrestling, we have softball, we have pretty much what you name it. But really what it helps is if you like the video, if you share the video, if you invite people in the game, so leave a lot of support. Home underneath. 2nd down. Again, hand right up the middle, but this time he's going to get stopped.
That was really the first play of the game that Buena got any kind of pressure up the middle. Their 2 defensive tackles got good pushes against the guards. Again, bringing up a 3rd and 6.
Colts again lining up in a 4-4. You got 2 defensive tackles, 2 defensive ends, 4 linebackers. A couple of them are shaded out. Holmes up underneath. Got 2 running. Just going to hand it off again right up the middle. And again, that front 4 for the Colts holds up and stops the tackle after 2 yards.
Yeah, Buena's linemen, the first few plays were falling for the pulling guard and not following them. This last one, the guard pulled away, and then the D tackle fouled right on his hip, and he was able to come up with the tackle for the stop.
So it brings up 4th down. Falcons, it looks like they're going to go ahead and punt. But you never know in high school football what's going to happen. They drop back and throw a Hail Mary. No, and they are. They're going to go ahead and there's the punt. Fair catch. Uh-oh. Caleb Bryan gets tagged. It's going to be at the 20-yard line when the Colts go ahead and show back up on the field.
Yeah, so there we got to see a rule that we don't see very often is Bryant signaled for the fair catch, and then he ended up muffing the punt. But once you signal for that fair catch, even if you muff the punt, once you get clear possession of it, it's dead.
So it's going to bring out a new series for the Colts. We'll see if they can go ahead and continue to build on it. Bourbon comes out. Gio in the shotgun. Got the same 2 running backs standing behind him. He's got 2 wide receivers. He's going to hand right up off the middle. He's going to get a good push, and that's going to get really close to a first down, about 8 yards.
Yeah, that was a good 8-yard gain by number 30. Good push by the lineman. 30 made a couple people miss from the linebacker level and dragged a few for the last few yards. That brings down a 2nd and 2. Gio brings it out on the option, picks it out to Bryant. Bryant makes a good move to pick up the last few yards for that first down.
35 for a Buena first down.
So Buena's changing it up a little bit here, bringing out the running game. They have two runs this drive for 15 yards. So they're going to try to keep Catalina on their toes on defense, show them that they're more than one-dimensional. They can run it or throw it on any play. This brings up a 1st and 10 from the 37-yard line. 4 wide for the Colts. Gio drops back. It's a slant and go, and Gio throws it just a little outside of his intended receiver. Pass incomplete.
Near the Foothills 45-yard line. It was
The pass was to Schwaff.
for Young Sweenup.
Excuse me, Schweenoff. We just got we're learning a lot of the new players too here, David, so as we work through it. So, hey, first off, again, everybody, thank you for your support watching the game. You got Gio back in the shotgun again, two running backs, one on each side of him. He's got 2 wide receivers. He's going to hand right off. He's going to get a nice little cutting grab. This is Kalen Bryant. He's going to get it about 3 or 4 yard gain.
Yeah, and that probably should have been stopped in the backfield, but Caleb had some quick feet. He was made the first guy miss and made what looked like a no-gain play turn into a 3-yard gain and brings up 3rd and 7. Manageable at least.
Colts on their own 40-yard line. Brings up 3rd down. 3rd down at about 7. Got Garrick lining up to the right. Gio in the shotgun, single running back, and that's going to be an offsides.
Flag on the play.
And that's a great call by Buena. Put in the hard count. It's a clear passing down. So they put in the hard count, and those linemen want to get after it. And they drew him offsides for the free 5 yards, bringing up a very manageable 3rd and 2.
3rd and a long one. Bueno.
Gio back in the shotgun formation, single running back where 3 wide receivers to the left. Number 30 to Jones. Jones is a good size running back if they want to use him as that. It's going to be 4th down, but he did go ahead and get some pressure in there.
Yeah, and Catalina's linebacker number 30 was able to shoot the gap and get his hands around Jones's feet and bring him down for the no gain or even a 1-yard loss. And it looks like Buena's sending out their punter. We'll see if they have anything tricky here for try to get this last yard.
Tebow back for the punt. Falcons are a little late getting their unit out there, so we'll see what happens. And that's a little bit of a jump. I think Tebow with a nice punt, might get a nice bounce. Flag on that one.
Will be taken by Foothills. They're down at the 20-yard line. There is a flag on the field.
Did you see Coach Thomas out there jumping up and down, trying to get the refs to call another penalty on the Falcons on that one? There was a flag called. I'm not real sure exactly what the penalty is.
It looked like Buena's gunner went. He thought that the punt returner had caught it, and he went for the tackle and grabbed onto him. You can't do that. That'll be a holding penalty. You can't obstruct another player's progress when he doesn't have the ball like that.
Let's bring up a new set of downs for Catalina.
Penalty is played blocking the back against Catalina Foothills.
Well,
I was mistaken. They actually called blocking the back against Catalina. I think Buena got a little lucky right there. It should have been offsetting penalties. But we'll take it. Any yards are good yards for Buena at this moment.
I don't think that Coach Thomas has stopped either pacing around or jumping around on the sideline since the game started.
First and 10, Foothills from their own 10.
So Holmes going to go ahead and he's going to line up. He's going to get up underneath center. He's going to be on his own 10-yard line. First down, Falcons. Colts line up in a 4-4. Got a couple linebackers on the outside. They're just going to try to run it right up the middle, get a little bit of space. Just going to bring up second down. They only got 2 on that carry. And again, the Falcons continuing just to try to smash that interior. And they got to be careful because this will set up that play action pass that we saw last series.
This is a big drive for Buena's defense. They have them down here deep. If they can get a 3-and-out here, force the punt. High school punters aren't known for their leg most of the time, so they'll probably get it in positive field position. But Catalina drops back for pass, and they find a wide-open receiver streaking down the middle, and that's going to go for an 89-yard touchdown pass.
So Holmes with an 88-yard touchdown pass. That's going to go ahead and that's going to make it 13-6 pending the extra point.
And you called it, Craig. They set up that play action pass. They've been doing it all game, for the first quarter at least. And the defense bit up on it. Safeties came in and they found the streaking tight end wide open in the middle of the field.
And that quarterback had some good protection too. I mean, guys got into the backfield, but they just kind of pivoted around him and just kind of made a nice little bubble while the receiver got open.
Holding the kick for the Falcons.
Kick is up. Kick is good. It's going to be 14-6 Falcons. About 2 minutes left in the first quarter.
14-6. With 2:14 left in the first quarter.
Well, we'll take this moment just to remind everybody, if you're watching the game online, we appreciate it. Thank you very much for all the support. Thank you for, being part of this online community to try to get as much exposure to our school athletics programs and by proxy the schools themselves and the things that are needed there. There's plenty of things going on to help you raise money to help fund some of these schools and some of the programs that are going on, whether it's the athletics, the arts, you name it. But go ahead and like and share that button. Go ahead and share the game. Leave a comment, cheer on your favorite players. Leave a comment for your favorite band members, your cheerleaders, your drill team members. And the band has just been out here. They haven't stopped yet either. I think they've just been rocking and rolling the entire game as well, David.
Well, the student section and the band are really what make high school athletics different and fun. The whole community comes out to watch, but then the students are really involved. The band's going the entire game, making noise, and that keeps the crowd hyped for the whole game.
And here we go. Falcons kicking off to the Colts, 14-6, 2 minutes, 14 seconds left. And this Falcons kicker has got a leg on him. And, the Colts have got to watch their composure here a little bit, not get upset. It's a long game.
Bryant tried as hard as he could to keep that out of the end zone. He was trying to keep his feet on that end line, but it went in by a yard. And like we said earlier, that's a huge weapon for Catalina. Every drive, your opponent will stop on the 20-yard line.
And Bryant, he can get the ball out, so he's just wanting to run. He's like a racehorse in the chute, and the chute never gets a chance to open up. Gio's coming back out with his offense, 2 wide receivers. He's going to move number 30, Jones, out into the slot. He's going to have 1 running back. He's going to drop back, little bootleg, right up over the middle, and that's why they're going to go ahead to the 20, to the 10, and that's going to be a touchdown, Colts. So immediately firing back against this Falcons defense. An amazing play.
Yeah, Garrick, number 9 Garrick is streaking down the sideline. As we saw at the end of last year and the beginning of this game, Gio throws a really nice deep ball. He floats it down the sideline. He lets his speedsters run under it, catches in stride, and that doesn't give the corner a chance to catch up. And at that point, it's just a foot race, and no one was going to catch Garrick on that 80-yard touchdown pass.
Colts lining back up for the extra point. And they're gonna sneak it, and they're gonna get in, and that's gonna be 2 points. It's gonna tie the game. 14-14 all. 2 minutes left in the first. It took them all of about 11 seconds to score that touchdown and get this game tied up.
Right now, Buena is the definition of a quick strike offense. Both their touchdowns have come on pass plays of over 70 yards. And they're finding open space over the top, and Gio's not missing right now. And when you have a quarterback doing that, it's fun to watch.
Well, and I think what will be fun to watch as they get going is if they can go ahead and establish some of this pass game, then what that'll do is it'll also start to maybe open up some of the running holes, and we'll see what can happen because we know we got some good runners on this Colts team.
Yeah, right now Catalina's putting everyone in the box and leaving their corners out there on islands, and the Buena wide receivers are taking advantage and burning them deep.
The other thing is Gio doesn't look intimidated or afraid at all. He's got a whole year of varsity football underneath his belt. Like we talked about earlier, he's filled out a little bit. He's just as big as some of those defenders out there. And Colts with the kickoff. Nice kick, going to get down to around the 10-yard line. And they're going to drop the ball, and it's going to fall forward, but they're going to recover it pretty close to the 20.
Yeah, that was a big opportunity. Catalina got a little lucky with the bounce. It bounced right to one of their up men, and they were very observant. He didn't go for his block too quick. He was able to turn around and find the ball on the ground and jump on it, keeping the ball in Catalina's hands, and they'll start 1st and 10 from the 19.
Who is this?
You know, David, as the season goes on, we're just getting started too. We're taking a little bit here to try to even get caught up. It's been an exciting game just in the first quarter. Home, underneath center, is going to just do a quick dive dump pass right up the middle. Just a quick handoff. Actually, it wasn't even a handoff. He just kind of lobbed the ball off to the guys. He ran through the hole. And what they're doing is they're getting in between our defensive tackle and our defensive end and creating a wedge. And I'm not sure. I'll have to look for it on the next play. I don't know if our linebackers are getting into those gaps fast enough to cover them down.
They're running a lot of counter direction in the backfield. They're motioning a lot before the play, and that just creates confusion. And here they go again. A little motion creates a little confusion, but Buena's that time able to adapt and stop them for a short 2-yard gain, bringing up a 3rd and 2.
And the Colts have some big bodies in there. You know, I mean, if you look at number 75, Santoniano Smith, you know, number 75 Smith, he's a pretty good-sized player. Also, same thing, number 72, Fruon getting in there. Now, so what they've got is they've got they're just going to go right up the middle. Holmes going to hand it. They're going to dive right in between where that defensive end and that tackle were. No linebacker in sight.
Yeah, they brought that slot receiver in motion and ran a quick reverse, kind of off tackle. And they were able to pick up a quick 20 yards on that, bringing up a 1st and 10 from the 50-yard line.
Number 66 for the Falcons is probably the largest player on the field, and he is moving people around as well. And for those of y'all who are watching, it's always kind of hard to call what's going on there in the middle. But I'm telling you right now, the whole game is being played in between where that center and those tackles are. Holm drops back. He's got a wide open receiver. He's going to just bring it down. He's going to get stuffed, about an 8-yard gain. But all of that is being set up with those little run plays that are just chipping away at the Colts defense.
Yeah, that was a quick 5-yard out, and there's plenty of space on that far sideline for the receiver to work. And that's all brought on by Catalina's running the ball a lot, so Buena's bringing 9 guys into the box, putting their corners out there one-on-one, and that was a man beater. And they beat the corner and for a quick 8-yard gain.
Buena 14, Catalina Foothills 14.
That's the end of the first quarter.
Buena fans, have you ever wanted to kick?
Welcome, sports fans, to Cochise County Sports Network. Tonight's live broadcast brought to you by Lolly Automotive Group for all your new and used car needs. Edward Jones Investments, making sense of investing. Apex Network Physical Therapy, come heal with us. Cochise Lock and Safe for all your lock and safe needs. Nova Home Loans, check out the Leon team, highest rated lender in Cochise County. SSVEC, owned by those we serve. And last but not least, Lights Out Family Fun Center. Tonight we have the Buena Colts taking on the Catalina Foothill Falcons. Live and in full HD, only on Cochise County Sports Network.
David, back here for the second quarter, and what we've learned is this going to be a pretty powerful offensive game.
Yeah, in that first quarter for the Falcons, their quarterback is 3 for 3 with 114 yards, which is a phenomenal first quarter. Only outdone by Gio on the Buena side, who was 3 for 4 with 167 yards in that first quarter, stapled by those 2 huge pass plays for touchdowns of 75-plus yards. But that brings us into the second quarter and see what this brings.
Foothills continue to slash away. The Falcons, they're going ahead. They're leading this game. I think they've got about 70 more yards rushing than what the Colts have. Score currently 14-14 for those of y'all who are just now tuning in. Been a very exciting game with a lot of big offensive plays. Kind of the story of the game so far has been the Falcons kind of slicing away at the Colts defense with these run plays to set up the pass, with the Colts answering with big-time play action run passes of their own. Again, right up the middle, that's going to move the pile.
Yeah, Catalina has been living on these trap plays, just quickly pulling their guard over the top, opening up holes. I mean, even that play doesn't look like it goes for much, but it's 4 yards, and 4 yards every play equals first downs.
And the Falcons are not lining up with a really wide offense. They've got one wide receiver. They've got a slot back. They got a running back up. And Holmes is just going to go ahead. He's just going to hand the ball off again, heading right towards the left defensive end. And again, what they're doing is they're just creating this massive wedge between the defensive tackle who's getting hooked in and the defensive end who's getting blown out, and that's creating just a massive hole.
Yeah, and that time they pulled around, number 68 for Catalina pulled around, and he was leading the way, and he didn't find anyone to block until the safety. Buena linebacker was able to cut under his block, though, and knock him down for a 2-yard gain.
Home back underneath. Same formation as before, but he's going to drop back, and he's going to try to go for this one, and it's going to be a little overthrown. But once again, the run setting up the pass with a one-on-one with the cornerback having to guard a much larger wide receiver.
Yeah, but the difference on that play is Buena was able to get a little pressure, and the quarterback took a huge shot right there, and he had to get that ball out quick, and that caused the overthrow. That's all about to and Buena didn't give him enough time to get that receiver to the spot they wanted.
We got a timeout on the field. Catalina's getting back down in here into scoring position again. Pretty good field position if they can just continue to kind of do what they were doing. And the Colts are going to have to come up with a stop, and it's 4th down.
It'll be really interesting to see what Catalina comes out with. Their offense all game has been run first, pass after. And with 4th and 5, they could easily run this or throw it. So Buena's going to have to be real disciplined, take away all options, and come up with a stop here.
Yeah, they've been effective on with both sides of the offense, with the running and with the passing. And, again, with it being high, although they do have a kicker with a big leg, but I don't see anybody kicking a field goal, this early into the second quarter, tied 14-14. This is a big play. This is probably the biggest play of the game coming up. Home underneath. He's backing up. He's going to drop back to pass. He's got an open receiver, but he's going to miss it, and that's going to turn over. Colts with a big, big stop on the defense. Colts are going to bring their offense out, and they're going to line up the 25-yard line, it looks like.
Yeah, and Catalina had a wide receiver there, but again, there was a little bit of pressure by Buena, forcing the quarterback out of the pocket, changing up the timing a little bit, and that's a touch throw. He's got to put that over the shoulder right on a dime, and it was incomplete, giving the ball over to Buena Colts.
Gio comes back out. First down, 10:27 in the second quarter. Gio in the shotgun. He's got his usual kind of wishbone set. He's going to hand off. Running back continues to scamper up. It looks like he might get to the line of scrimmage. Hernandez with the carry on that one. Maybe a yard. Colts come back up second and about 9.5. Gio in the backfield. He's got 3 wide receivers, 2 to the left. He's got a tight end. And he goes back and he just scampers away. He's continuing to move up. He's going to keep going up, and he's going to pick up a good 6 or 7 yards. Not bad for a second play. I mean, it's going to go ahead and bring him closer.
And that's just great playmaking ability by Gio. It was a quick rush in by the edge. They were trying to get outside right on a rollout, but the right edge was set really well for Catalina, and Gio had to cut it up inside, and he was able to scamper forward for 6 yards, set up a manageable 3rd and 4. What I'm looking for, when Buena's going those 2 wideouts, Catalina's not covering up the slot receiver, so it'll give a nice, quick, easy pass if Buena goes to it.
Gio hands the ball off. Running back's got a good lead blocker, but that looks like he may have gotten it looks like they're looking for a penalty. I thought he got him by the helmet or the face mask, but ref didn't see it. But they are going to get a first down. Great play. I love to see the power run game when you have that lead running back acting as the lead blocker, and then you just kind of clean up and just have to smash your way through the hole.
And that's Coach Thomas showing some confidence in his offensive line, saying, hey, we have been getting yards through the air, but right now we need 4 yards. So buckle down, get us those 4 yards. And they went forward, got the push, and the running back lowered his head and came away with the first down.
Yeah, timeout on the field. Right now, 8 minutes, 50 seconds left in the half. Again, still a tied score, 14-14. So for those of y'all watching on the Cochise County Sports Network, thank you very much for your support. We appreciate it. I don't think you understand how much it means to the student athletes who are out here playing, the student band members who are out here also playing, the cheerleaders who are out here showing their support, and the rest of the student body who's out here cheering on their peers and their classmates. Go ahead and like the game, share the game, get as much word out there as possible, support your local high school. And also, if you're watching from up there in Catalina Foothills, do the same thing. Go ahead and like the game, share it out. We appreciate you guys making the trip down.
And if you guys don't want to watch on Facebook tonight, we have a YouTube page for Cochise County Sports Network. Just go to YouTube and type in Cochise County Sports Network. Alternatively, you guys can watch directly right on our website. Just go to svnn.news/sports.
Gio's going to keep the ball, and he's going to keep slashing, and he's going to pick up about 8 yards. It'll be interesting to see how the season goes on if they're going to continue to use him and some more of these kind of quarterback keep run packages.
Yeah, that was just a classic option play there, and I think they're hoping that they crash down on Gio and he's able to kick it out to Brian in space. But they're also happy if they don't crash on Gio, he's able to push it upfield for 8 yards. Gio on a quick quarterback sneak, he's able to push the pile forward for 2 yards on the first down.
The Colts continue to drive, picking up a little bit of momentum, getting close to the 50-yard line. Gio's going to line up on the 47. He's got his typical formation out there with him, which is 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, and he's going to hand off. They're going to sweep around. Nice cut up, and he's going to get up over the 50 That's actually a really good run. Anytime you could pick up 3 or 4 yards.
There's a penalty flag in the backfield, and that's where normally holding is called, and that's what it's going to be. So that'll push Buena back 10 yards on what was a good first down run, but it's all wiped out by the 10-yard penalty.
Number 596-701, number 596-710, and number 596-677. 596-701.
Now the Colts are going to get moved back 10 yards on a holding play. Now instead of starting off at roughly the 51, they're going to be starting off at let's see. Looks like they'll start back over at the, 43? 33, excuse me.
So that's a spot foul. So since that was a deep running play, the holding was called about 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage. So that's actually a 13-yard penalty in essence, bringing up a 1st and 23.
He's going to have 4 wide receivers for Gio. He's going to pull up, and he's going to go. Floats another one out. Pass is intercepted. So that's the first turnover for the Colts this game. Gio with a big, big pass. Bobbled around there with the receiver. Couple Falcons defenders back there as well. One of them came down with the ball. Falcons are going to take over at the 34.
Yeah, that was a little late on Gio's part. He floated a little too much. His wide receiver had the corner beat, but the corner never gave up on it. He was able to get his hand in there, tip it up, and the safety came over from his position to pick it off, setting it up at a 1st and 10 for the Falcons.
So here we go, 7:47, 14-14. Falcons have the ball on their own 33-yard line. Home up underneath. He's going to turn around. He's going to hand the ball. They're going to slash right up the middle, a little bit to the right. Again, wedging and playing right in between that defensive tackle and that defensive end.
Catalina runs a no-fluff offense. It's straight ahead, counters, traps, power. They're saying we're just going to out-muscle you. You're going to have to stop it at some point.
Home lines up. He's got 2 running backs in the backfield, 2 wide receivers to the left. He's going to put one in motion. Turns around, little quick dip. They're going to hand right off to the guy who was in motion. He's going to get out into space, and he is going to be gone, and that'll be a touchdown for the Falcons. So just like that, off the turnover, the Falcons turn around in 2 plays, put another 6 points up on the board. 20-14 Falcons, pending the extra point.
And that was just a nice counter action by Catalina. They faked the pitch outside and then handed it underneath the wide receiver that was in motion, pulling it back under. And there was a big hole there. Everyone went with the pitch man outside, and when he cut back, there was just no one there. The linebackers had left. The safety had flown down to try to take away the quick pitch.
It was actually a really, really beautiful play that they just ran. Back for the extra point. Ball is down. Point is up. That'll be an extra point. So 7:05 in the second quarter. 21-14 Catalina Foothill Falcons. And, the Colts, we're driving pretty good there. The one mistake in football is a killer, especially when they can come back out with that momentum and just put another touchdown up on the board.
Yeah, that last drive was really Bueno was put behind the chains with that holding penalty, and that forced the deep pass that was picked off. And then, the story of the game has been the big plays. Buena has 2 of them over 70 yards. That last run play was 61 yards by Catalina. So it's clear we're in for fireworks for the rest of the game as both offenses are finding space out there on the field.
We're on pace for about a 75-point game for one of these teams.
4,000 yards.
Yeah. And it's been a good, clean game. There hasn't been a lot of penalties. It hasn't been real chippy out there. It looks like the young men are having a lot of fun. And it hasn't been an ugly game. The discipline, other than the 1 or 2 penalties, has been pretty good.
Yeah, the offenses have come out, look really sharp. The defenses are slowly getting into the season, it seems like. But that'll turn around as the year goes on. And the offenses are taking advantage of the space that they're given.
Well, there's been no scouting for any of this. This is all brand new football as well. It's very hard to go out There's that big kick. The Colts are actually going to get a chance to bring this one back out, and he's going to build up some speed that's just going to take him right into around the 35. The pile continues to move. And a very good return and good field position for the Colts.
Yeah, and that's the first chance Brian has had at a return, and it's a 15-yard net gain for the Colts. Instead of starting at their 20 like they have all night, they're going to be starting at the 35-yard line.
First and 10. Buena at their own 36.
So Gio comes back out, get his offense into the huddle. What do we got going on for the game so far, Dave?
Well, I mean, it hasn't changed much since the quarter. Catalina is making their money on the ground. They have 176 rushing yards on 17 attempts. But, I mean, their passing game isn't that bad either, coming in at 114. So they're pretty balanced in yardage, but obviously the attempts are there on the rushing side.
Colts show up with a quick little handoff that's going to bring up second down, but a nice little pickup of around 6. Again, continue to push that huddle. Excuse me, push the pile. I don't think anybody wants to be in a huddle that's like that. And it has been a pretty good physical game, too. I mean, again, it's kind of hard to call, and I invite the audience to watch, is those people, the young men who are playing down there on the line, are getting the work done on both sides. Gio back in the shotgun, 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs. He's going to hand off. He's going to get kind of smothered up in the backfield. He's going to lose some yards, and that'll bring up third down.
It looks like Coach Thomas is trying to slow the game down a little bit. 2 straight run plays. Bringing up 3rd and 5 here. But I've been watching the last few plays, Catalina's cornerbacks, and they're playing 10 yards off the wide receivers. I mean, that's obviously because of the big play potential Buena's already shown. But let's see if Buena can take advantage of that and get some underneath routes, get some quick hitters, and that'll create space over the top.
Gio back in the shotgun. He's got Jones out in the slot. 2 wide receivers, 3 wide receivers. Gio, little bootleg action out. He's going to pull up. He's going to move himself up into the pile. He's continuing to run. He might actually get the first down.
Yeah, his first read wasn't there. He brought it down early. There was a guy down here on the far sideline wide open at the first down 6, but he wasn't able to get his head all the way back around as his first read was out to the right.
It's like Gio's knee went down about a yard, about 2 yards from the line of scrimmage. So they're going to go for it. Take that back. Tebow's in there to punt. I got new glasses, people. You got to bear with me as I get accustomed to them. Tebow's had some good punts. See if he can get this one down around the 5-yard line. Nice pickup, and the punt is up. The ball's going to continue to roll, and it's going to roll out of bounds around the 15-yard line.
That's really solid. That he flips this field position for Buena. Inside the 20 is always good. That's a stat that's tracked at all levels, how many inside the 20 punts you have. So Buena needs to come away here with a 3 and out, and then they'll have a chance before the half's over to tie this game back up.
4:23 left in the half, 21-14, the Falcons. Coach Thomas sends his defense back out onto the field. And again, that front 4 going up against that Catalina front 5 or 6, depending on how many people they stack in, has really been where the game is at. Colts line up kind of tight. Three linebackers in there. They're going to have 4 down linemen, 1 shaded linebacker, and that ball's going to go right up the middle. It's going to get swallowed up by number 76, Jaden Gazer. Good tackle.
Buena right now is selling out on the run. They have 9 guys in the box. Bryant and Garrick are the corners, and they're just pressing up, saying, we're not going to give you anything quick or easy. So they're putting money on their defensive line, able to close those holes, and then on pass downs, get in there and cause pressure so they won't have time for those over the top shots.
Home in the shotgun, 2 running backs, going to move another number 6 back into motion, going to hand right up the middle, but again gets stopped. Another great tackle. That was Smith. And that's the part that I like. You know, you and I both played very different positions when we played football, but I was a defensive lineman. I like it when those defensive linemen get in there and make those little early tackles or get to that quarterback.
Yeah, and he was able to take advantage there of the center. Center's always a little bit slow because he has to snap the ball first. And so that's his first responsibility. And the Buena lineman was able to shoot across his face and get into the hole before he could react.
Home making sure his people are lined up. He's going to have a little bit of problem going on with his formation. And we got to delay a game, it looks like. 2 minutes and 57 seconds. Clock continues to tick down.
The flag for delay of game, Foothills.
And as a quarterback, he's trying to get his guys lined up into the correct formation, but he's also got to be aware of that back judge. Once it gets on, there's no play clocks on this field, and so you got to watch that back judge, and he'll start counting off with his arm when you get under 10. And once you see that, you either got to get your guys in their formation or you got to take the timeout so you don't lose those 5 yards.
Home back underneath the center. He's going to drop back for a pass. He's looking, finds a wide open receiver who drops the ball.
At the 22-yard line. It will be 4th and 13 Foothills.
And Catalina had an open receiver on the rub route. It was a nice stop pattern into an in route, and it looked like the corner had given up his responsibility and was trying to trade it off in the man coverage. And he was open and had a lot of green grass in front of him, but he wasn't able to come up with the catch.
You know, sometimes, David, it's just pure luck that saves you. Looks like Catalina setting up for a punt. They got some good kickers on this team, but they've been pushed back a little bit. Some of it was that penalty. Some of it was just some good defense, those good linemen getting those good tackles. The punt is up. Nice high punt, but it's going to float down a little bit, and it's going to get a good bounce back for the Colts. Don't do that. Don't touch it. The Colts are going to get it around their 45-yard driving into the Falcons' 45.
Something we haven't mentioned all game is there is a decent breeze out here tonight. And that was the first punt Catalina had to put back up into the wind. And so it hung up there a little bit, and they're not getting the distance they were in that first quarter. And that really helps out with Buena's field position. They take over in Catalina territory, 45 yards out from the end zone, trying to tie it up before half.
So we get a chance for Gio to come out. 2 minutes, 28 seconds. 21-14, Falcons. Good field position for Gio and the Colts offense. They get up to the line. He's going to have his typical, he's going to kind of shift out of his typical offense.
And I want you to notice this slot receiver down here on the near side. No one's over top of him. I hope Buena comes back to that throughout the game. And that's Brian on the handoff. He's got some space. He's able to make the guy miss, and that's good for a 25-yard gain.
Brought down at the 19, where it will be 1st and 10.
A lot of that set up again with that little bit of lead blocking and that little bit of curl blocking to keep those ends and from those linebackers from getting out there to touch that running back.
And Buena's been trying to get Brian out into space all game, and that was the first time he really broke out. I mean, you got to see what he can do in the open field. He's special. He's got quick feet. He's able to make that first guy miss.
Gio with Bryant and with Jones in the backfield, 2 wide receivers. He's going to hand off to Jones. He's going to go right up the middle. I think Jones is the biggest player on the field. Gio's being real calm here, 1:50 seconds. They're getting up within the red zone, as it were. You know, they're right on the inside of the 20. Looks like around the 18-yard line. 1:40.
And they have plenty of time left right now. They don't have to rush. I think they have all 3 of their timeouts left, so they have plenty of time to get any play they want.
Gio with Bryant and Jones. Oh, he's got a bad snap. Bryant should fall on that, and that's going to lose him 10, 12 yards. Gio getting a little That's going to change this a little bit. It's going to be 3rd and 25. It's going to be about a minute left on the clock by the time they get up to the line, maybe a little bit less. A little bit of confusion for the Colts as Gio comes in and they do a personnel swap.
First kicker in the American Southwest Credit Union halftime kick.
At this point, Buena's, I think it's touchdown is out of the question right now. Now they're just trying to get into field goal range, come away with points right before the half. I don't know what Tebow's range is, but I'd say getting down to around the 20-yard line opens it up a little bit. And Catalina turns around, takes a timeout, stopping the clock at 40 seconds left.
You know, what started off as a really clean game without a lot of mistakes, the second half, especially the second half of the second half, as I would say, with the towards the end of the second quarter, what you saw was the interception. We saw the drop pass by Catalina for the wide-open wide receiver. We see the high, deep snap to Gio when he was in the shotgun. All three of those being difference makers going, you know, that are affecting this game right now. That there's only been one touchdown this quarter versus the 4 that were scored in the previous first.
And coming into a season, that's to be expected. You have really high adrenaline in that first quarter. You're trying to make the plays. You're happy to be out there playing against someone that's not on your own team. And you could see both teams are really clicking on both sides of the ball. But as the game goes on, that kind of wanes, and then you kind of get into that rhythm of what you're supposed to be in, and training's supposed to take over. And right now, both teams are struggling with it a little bit. Penalties on both sides, turnovers. So it's who can snap out of this little dull first is going to really open up this game.
Gio in the shotgun. He's got 4 receivers out plus a running back. Little fake pass. And again, excuse me, it was looking like a fake handoff to a quick little pass, a slant running up along the sideline. It was just broken up. Fourth and 25, 36 seconds left. What do you think?
There is no question here. You send out your punt team, you kick it. You don't want to give Catalina the ball on the 35 when you can pin them down, hopefully inside the 10 with this, essentially ending the half. So I think Coach Thomas took the time out there, tried to settle his punt crew a little bit, get them out there in time, not have everyone running around. There's not a question in my mind. You punt this. 4th and 25 is nothing to mess around with at the end of the half.
I'd take the field goal, but that's why I'm also not a head coach for any football team whatsoever. But we'll see what they do.
If there's a high school kicker that can make it from 52 yards, I'd be very impressed.
Our producers are saying he can make it from 52 yards.
He's also not in high school.
Gio's actually coming back out, so it looks like they're going to take one last shot at this thing. And I actually like this kind of football. This is the gritty kind of football that the Colts had such a great season playing on. 4 wide receivers. Gio steps back, looking for somebody open. Passes there to Garrick. Intercepted. It's kind of like a punt. It was intended for Jones. And it was actually a pretty good pass. It was just kind of broken up a little bit as it came in.
Yeah, I mean, that worked out perfect for Buena. They threw it up to a jump situation. They ended up not winning the jump situation, but Catalina caught it. So now they have it at the 10-yard line instead of the 35. So that's an interception you're not mad with if you're the coach. It gains you 25 yards.
The winner of the Colt Booster Club 50.
And the Falcons have been playing a great game. I mean, both these teams have come out here, and again, what's been most fun to watch is it's not a dirty game. Both teams are playing very competitively, but nobody's getting overly chippy. They're not getting in anybody's face. It's just a good, clean, hard-fought game.
For me, it's fun to just watch 2 different philosophies. Right now in college and pro, pretty much everyone runs the same style of offense. these are two drastically different offenses going about it, but coming away with the same results. Looks like Catalina took a knee. They're happy to just run out the clock here in the first half, go to the locker rooms with a 7-point lead.
And that's going to do it for the second half. 21-14, the Catalina Foothill Falcons over the Buena Colts. Heading into halftime. We'll see you at half.
Welcome, sports fans, to Cochise County Sports Network. Tonight's live broadcast brought to you by Lolly Automotive Group for all your new and used car needs. Edward Jones Investments, making sense of investing. Apex Network Physical Therapy, come heal with us. Cochise Lock and Safe for all your lock and safe needs. Nova Home Loans, check out the Leon team, highest rated lender in Cochise County. SSVEC, owned by those we serve. And last but not least, Lights Out Family Fun Center. Tonight we have the Buena Colts taking on the Catalina Foothill Falcons, live and in full HD, only on Cochise County Sports Network.
Hi everyone, I'm Sean Lawley from the Lolly Automotive Group. Summer's here and it's getting hot, and so are the deals at all our dealerships. Check out the great selection of Buicks, Chevrolets, GMCs, Hondas, Nissans, Hyundais, Fords, Kias, Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Rams we have in stock. With some of the biggest discounts and rebates of the year, now's the time to buy your new vehicle. With over 20 lending institutions, your finance term could never be better. Shop us online at lollycars.com or come to any one of the Lolly dealerships and see why so many people in Southern Arizona choose Lolly Motors for their next vehicle purchase. Because nobody beats a Lolly deal. Nobody.
They are not superheroes, but they save people every day. Save money, that is. They are energy auditors from SSVEC, and they're helping people save money on energy and informing them about valuable incentives, 0% retrofit loans, and other programs, and saving finite resources and making our country more energy independent.
Maximize your savings.
Call SSVEC about our new energy audit.
Well, David, what we got here going into this is a pretty competitive game. The score's still close, 21-14. The Catalina Foothills Falcons have come in here, and really a game defined by a lot of big plays would have yielded a lot of big yards all the way around.
Yeah, in the first half, Buena ended up with 226 yards of total offense, while Catalina came away with 292 yards of total offense. That's kind of unheard of in high school football. That's almost averaging 600 yards a game.
Now here's the Buena Colts marching band.
Welcome everyone to our halftime performance, where the Buena Marching Colts will present for you the cheers you hear throughout the game. We would love it if you join us. We call these cheers shorties. And for our first shorty, everyone can sway to this groove called Short Drag. Shout out BHS Buena in the break and a loud Colts at the end. And next up is Short Frank. In the appropriate break, shout out Buena. And at the end, yell Colts. Our Our next shorty is Short Work. For this one, call out BHS during the breaks, and at the end shout Colts. That's right, there is no giving up this season. Up next is Short Never. Shout BHS, then Go Colts at the end. Yeah, for these next two songs, feel free to sing and dance along with the Buena Marching Colts while they play Hey Baby and Mickey. Yeah! To the direction of Mr. Brad Gallant. Color guard coaches are Beth Hanley and Katie. Tonight, the Marching Colts would like to give a very special welcome to alumnus returning home today from deployment with the United States Navy. Lieutenant Steve Nieto. And now a salute to our Buena.
Levi here with Cochise County Sports Network to tell you about Lights Out Family Fun Center. If you are looking for affordable fun for the whole family where you don't have to drive to Tucson, then look no further than Lights Out. With 18 holes of indoor miniature golf, jumping castles, pool tables, dartboards, air hockey, 2 party rooms, and so much more, all under a sea of black lights. Now, for a limited time, mention Cochise County Sports Network for 10% off your visit. Lights Out Family Fun Center. They're family owned, they're family friendly, they're family priced. Located at 101 East Wilcox Drive. What are you waiting for? Center. If you are looking for affordable fun for the whole family where you don't have to drive to Tucson, then look no further than Lights Out. With 18 holes, all right, folks, if you're tuning in right now to Cochise County Sports Network, thank you so much for tuning in. As you guys see right now here on the end zone here, we have a couple guests who all bought some raffle tickets for a chance to kick a field goal for $100. Brought to you by American Southwest Credit Union. I do apologize, folks. I'm wearing headphones at the moment, and so I'm getting feedback coming back into my ears, and so there's a slight echo, and it throws me off sometimes. But anyway, thank you so much to everybody who's tuning in to Cochise County Sports Network tonight. Remember, we're not only on Facebook anymore, we're also on YouTube. We're on svnn.news/sports. As well as a couple other locations such as livestream.com and things of that nature. Now, we're going to be pushing our content out to a lot more locations as the season progresses. But if you guys are looking to tune in anywhere other than Facebook, make sure to check out some of those other locations. Give us a subscribe, follow us, whatever it is that you'd have to do there to get in touch with our content. We'd certainly love for you guys to do it. Now, we've got a lot of viewers so far on tonight's broadcast. We've had tons of people tune in, which is awesome. We love to see that support. Not as many comments as we're used to seeing. We have the typical, people jumping on there. So I want to try something a little different here. If you guys are tuning into the broadcast right now, go ahead and jump in the comment box. Let us know where you're watching from. If you guys do that, what we'll do is we'll pick whoever's watching from furthest away. We're going to send them a native gift card for $20. So go ahead and jump in the comment. See here, we've got our first kick underway. And I think it was good, folks.
This is Craig Mountain. I'm back with David Lanstra as we get ready to start off the second half of this really exciting football game. 21-14, Catalina Foothills Falcons coming into and really kind of bringing it to the Colts.
Yeah, and we'll see what kind of adjustments both teams make coming out of the second half. Obviously, watching the game, the adjustments or what they need to fix seems really easy. Catalina is just running it all over the Colts interior right now. Colts are biting on the misdirections, leaving their assignments. They're not trusting. And so,
you're fine, keep going.
And so if Catalina can kind of lock down on those interior runs, that'll be good for them. And then on the other side, Buena's had all those over-the-top looks, and even the 2 interceptions. They had open people. They're just slightly underthrown by Gio. And so Catalina's going to probably play a little bit less aggressive on those, stay back, say, we'll make mistakes, but it'll all be in front of us.
Yeah, really what the Falcons have been bringing, David, is they've got 3 basic plays where they – here come the Colts are running back out on the field. But the Falcons got 3 basic plays. They're slashing up the middle between that defensive end and that defensive tackle. Then they're using that to kind of use as a play action to kind of bust out and do a little quick, a little quick slant or even almost a draw play. And then they've got a little bit of a play where they kind of try to get it to the outside. And that's really it. Now, I think the Colts have had a little bit more of a diverse set of plays being used. And I think both teams have played well in the middle. We'll see what the adjustments are.
Welcome, sports fans, to Cochise County Sports Network. Tonight's live broadcast brought to you by Lolly Automotive Group for all your new and used car needs. Edward Jones Investments, making sense of investing. Apex Network Physical Therapy, come heal with us. Cochise Lock and Safe for all your lock and safe needs. Nova Home Loans, check out the Leon team, highest rated lender in Cochise County. SSEC, owned by those we serve. And last but not least, Lights Out Family Fun Center. Tonight, we have the Buena Colts taking on the Catalina Foothill Falcons, live and in full HD, only on Cochise County Sports Network.
Milligan, Tom Goulding.
So once again, we're back getting ready to Catalina Foothills Falcons, 21-14 in a very competitive, entertaining game. The Falcons bringing game, and then the Colts definitely playing with a little bit more of almost a gunslinger attitude.
Yeah, and to start the second half, the Colts will be receiving the Thomas told his team at half and what their game plan is going to be for this first drive. If I had to guess, I'm going to assume he challenged his offensive line and said, hey, we've had big plays, but we haven't had that sustained drive yet of 10 plays to go score. So I bet he challenged his offense to get that 10-play drive it all the way down the field, and prove that they're not just a big play offense. They can take control of the line of scrimmage, take control of the game, and push it wherever they want to go.
And although this has been a very clean game, very few penalties, very few mistakes, there were 3 critical mistakes there towards the end of the second quarter that really kind of defined how this game is shaped out. We had the interception with Gio and the Colts that led to the Falcons making that quick touchdown. We also had the wide open Falcons player drop the ball, which put the Colts kind of into position to score. And then we had where just a bad snap got over Gio and maybe cost them a scoring opportunity and kind of took it a little bit outside and really kind of hurt both teams. So we'll see. And, you know, there's going to be things like that happen during a football game, but it's the team that out on top.
The quarterback is number 2, Giovanni Bourbon. The tailback, number 5, Caleb Bryant.
Yeah, so right now both teams are just doing some quick stretches, trying to get warmed up, because something we haven't seen, which is great this entire game, is injuries. And we'll see how, and we've made comment of it before, the small size that Catalina brought. They only brought 30 players. So if they get bit by the injury bug, it'll be serious that, hey, we just had 15 minutes off. You're going to tighten up a little bit.
Also, for those of you who are watching the game, County Sports Network, please go ahead, like it, share it, comment, let us know where you're from. We're giving away a free Native Grill and Wings gift certificate for those of you who are, well, for the person who's the furthest away. So let us, you're a Catalina Foothills fan, welcome. Our home Colts teams here in Sierra Vista. Beautiful night out tonight. Very nice. Let us know what you're out here in the community. A number of different ways to get. Also help out the education boosters. Come find out what are some of the ways that you can help get involved to the other programs, the music, the arts. Using some help. Teams go ahead and get one last little chance to get ready. If you've been watching, halftime's over. We're getting ready to go live again. All who are out watching at some of the establishments that are streaming in this video. The Colts will be receiving this.
Caleb Bryant will be back to receive the kickoff for Buena. Jacob Murphy.
To start the second half, Caleb Bryant back to receive. And he's had a pretty good game thus far. I know he wants to keep getting that ball and trying to get as much space with it as possible. But, you know, we talked about it during the first half. The Falcons have got a guy who's got like a giraffe.
Yeah, but right now he's kicking back into the wind for the second time this game, and that's the one that Bryant was able to return last time. So we'll see if he's able to return like they're looking for.
Nice deep kick back. Bryant's getting underneath. Be a touchback. Colts are going to bring it up to the 20-yard line.
Two spectators to please stay off the rails, out of the walkways, and sit in the stands. Please stay off the rails, out of the walkways, and sit in the stands.
So we got a public announcement for the, I guess this is mostly directed to the students that are out here to get out of the way and get back in your seats, I guess. What would you be with a high school without kids in the way? They're having fun. All right, so Gio's back. Gio in the shotgun. 3 wide receivers. Number 9 with the receive. He's going to try to get it out to the sideline. He's going to continue to move up. Nice pickup with the first play of the second half.
So it looks like the Colts coach has picked up on what we were picking up on earlier. When the Colts put multiple receivers to one side, Catalina is not covering them. So right there is just a quick pass out to Garrick, and he's able to make one move and get upfield for 12 yards.
Looks like they're running the same formation, just to the opposite side. 3 wide receivers to the right. Gio with the quick handoff. That's going to slash. Bryant's going to continue to work. Yard gain. Nice run. And Bryant, I think, is probably one of the best athletes on the team, especially when he's just running around with that ball.
Yeah, he's not really built like a back to get up between the tackles, and they're trying to get him out in space, but right there he shows, like, if they're 8 yards.
So 8-yard gain for Bryant. Gio get up underneath center. Again, Caleb Bryant gets it in for the first down. And again, slashing right up through between. Always the soft spot on defensive line if the linebacker doesn't step up.
And this is Buena trying to enforce their will a little bit on this game, show that their offense can slow it down, can have that sustained drive of 4, 5, 6, 7-yard plays at a time, keeping it going. And they're not just a one-trick pony of trying to throw it over the top to beat you deep.
You know, and David, when we called the game, you know, last year when we watched these games, what Coach Thomas does really times, they are such a underneath center. He's going to do a quick sweep. He's going to get around. He's going to get tackled. Maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage. Anyways, what I was saying is Coach Thomas, he knows that his team, as the game goes on, they tend to get tougher and more aggressive and more aggressive. I don't think he's afraid of anything.
Yeah, in this game, we've noticed that Buena's never had the lead. They've been playing behind or tied for the entire time, but they've never looked bigger than the moment. They've always stayed composed, stayed within their game plan, and keep pushing back. And so we'll see if that holds up for the rest of the game as it gets down near the end. But right now they're facing a 2nd and 10, and they need to pick up some yards right here.
Gio comes up to seen 2 wide receivers, got 2 running backs, got Jones leading the way. He's going to drop back, little bootleg, nice deep pass, a little floated, but he's going to come down with that pass. That is complete, and another huge play by Gio Bourbon.
That is Gio just trusting his wide receiver. Thrown, but his wide receiver went up and over the corner and took it out of his hands for the nice 40-yard gain.
I think that was Schwinoff, who we were talking about earlier. A fantastic play.
Real quick shout out to Brian Blankenship, who's watching here in Arizona, I believe, but he just subscribed to our YouTube page. So if you guys are tuning in, make sure to hit that subscribe button.
Rush attempt is kind of stopped there at the line of scrimmage. Jacob Murphy getting kind of stuffed back, about a loss for a yard. Brings up 2nd and 10, so actually no gain. Once again, Gio looking like a gunslinger on that one. You know, the previous play, just a nice little rollout, does a play action, and you know the ball was a little high, but as you stated, David, it's just receiver, and again the tenacity of the Colts players. Gio back in the shotgun, more of his typical formation. He's going to have Bryant Jones in the backfield on either side of him. He's got 3 wide receivers. So, when it calls a timeout, must have saw something.
I think they're running out. They're running a little bit into the play clock there, and that bit Catalina in the first half, and Coach Thomas wasn't going to let that happen to his Colts, so he took the timeout there, saved the 5 yards. He wants to get something called here. They're down in the red zone, pushing to tie the game up. You can't. The 5 yards would be inexcusable right now, so he takes the timeout, going to set something up, and try to push it in for the score.
Those of y'all who are watching us on Cochise County Sports Network, as well as all the social media feeds that are coming up out of this, we want to thank you very much. If you are watching, go ahead, like that, share it, let everybody else know what's going on. Support both of these young teams, and let them know that you're watching. Leave a comment, cheer on your favorite player, cheer on your favorite band member, cheer on your favorite cheerleader, or just let your other student athletes or even your favorite teachers know what's going on. Gio comes back out, 2nd and 10. He's got Jones lined up right next to him. 3 wide receivers, 2 to the left, 1 to the right. This gets in the shotgun. Little slash. Oh, looks like there's a flag on the play. Might pick up about 5 yards. And what it looked like there, David, was, we'll see what this penalty is, The running back had didn't have anybody covering him, so they used him to kind of pull it out. And then from that, they just kind of threw just a little screen pass almost unprotected.
Yeah, and Catalina's been given that all game on the 2 or 3 wide receiver sets to one side. They've been playing off that second guy, creating a lot of open space, and Buena tried to take advantage right there. I'm interested to see what the refs are talking about right here. Maybe one of the wide receivers didn't get up to the line, so it was an illegal formation. And it looks like we actually have an injury on the field. Looks like it's a cramp for Bryant. And that's going to be huge for the Colts. He's their playmaker, trying to get him into space. Oh, but he opts back up quickly, so we'll see how this turns out.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's going to be an injury at all, just getting his calves stretched out a little bit. David, with you and I standing up here on this hard metal floor as we call the game, I feel like I need to lay down and get my calves stretched out here a little bit as well. I think, the next time you guys are up here at the game, to see the setup that the Cochise County Sports Network has set up with the monitors, the cameras, it's a fantastic setup just to bring you this game live. And we want to thank all of our sponsors for allowing us to get this done for you. The penalty was on the Colts. It's going to move them back. It's going to be second down and about 14.
And this is what stopped the Colts the last time they were down here. They had the missed snap that they lost 10 yards on, and now this next time they're in the red zone, they get a 5-yard penalty. So hopefully they can get those yards back and keep moving down the field. And it's a reverse to Bryant. Bryant shakes off that cramp real quick. He has some space, and he's able to get the 14 yards for the first down.
That makes you, we got our producer Levi whispering in our ear if maybe that was a little bit of gamesmanship stretching out that calf, because he absolutely came flying around that right side, picked up about 15 yards, and they're right back down there. So it's first down on the 10-yard line. The Colts are driving, and again, it's this a big play mentality that the Colts just tend to bring with them. They're just not afraid to pull the trigger on something big.
And this is what we were looking for coming into the second half. This drive so far has been 7 plays, and they started at the 20-yard line, and they're trying to cash it in to tie the game up. And that's a quick fullback dive up the middle, gaining them 3 yards.
Colts come up. They're not even going to get into a huddle, so they know what package they're running. Gio's going to get up underneath the center. He's got 3 running backs and almost kind of like a weird spread eagle wishbone formation. He's going to hand it off, and they're going to dip around. Number 7, Jacob Murphy, continue to drive it in.
Maybe down near the 5-yard line.
Maybe a pickup of 1.
Would bring up 3rd and goal.
So we're going to be 3rd and goal. Looks like they're about the 4-yard line.
I'm looking for some sort of rollout right here from Gio. I think they're going to put him in a run-pass option, get him out on the outside. If the pass is there, take it for the easy score. And if they stay off him, he's shown that he can pull down and find space and make people miss and get into the end zone.
Gio lines up. It's like Murphy and Bryan in the backfield. It's got 2 wide receivers. Going to step back. He pulls up, and right there, incomplete pass intended for Jones.
A bit too high for Timmy Jones. They'll bring up 4th and goal Colts.
Well, I don't see the Colts. I don't see the Colts trying to go for a field goal here yet. Gio's going to run back on there. Has a brief exchange with Coach Thomas, who I think Coach Thomas won that exchange. Oh, so no, here comes Tebow. So it looks like they are going to do it. Murphy's going to come back down. So what is this going to be, about a 20-yard attempt?
Marco Tebow to kick a 15-yard field goal. Bourbon the holder.
The snap is back. The ball's down. The kick is up, and it's good.
The kick is good.
3 points for the Colts. That's a field goal for the Colts. Score is going to be 21-17 Falcons. And it wasn't a bad drive, David. I mean, it started off, it chewed up a lot of time off the clock. to get it down there. They get their 3 points. If they can get their defense kind of moving a little bit like they did the last series, then maybe they can go ahead and start to kind of chip away a little bit more at this.
Yeah, that was a 5.5-minute drive by the Colts, and it just stalled there a little bit at the end. They got behind the chains a little bit with the penalty. They fought back from that, and Gio actually had a guy in the end zone on the quick slant. The timing was just a little bit off. It's a little high. So it was right there for the Colts, and they proved that we can drive against this defense. We don't have to just live by the big play. We can get yards when we want them.
It kind of goes back to what you were talking about at the beginning of the half, is Coach Thomas getting these guys settled down to just put together a nice, good drive, build up their confidence a little bit. The Colts set up for the kickoff following the field goal that they just received. 21-17, Catalina.
Tebow to kick.
Here comes Tebow. Nice kick, and he's kicking with the wind this time around, and it's going to come down 10. Get up to 20. Oh, he's going to just bust right through. Now it's up to Tebow again to get the tackle. That's the second tackle that Tebow's gotten on a kickoff this game.
Touchdown saving tackle.
And then number 6 just found a seam and just punched right through it.
Yeah, one of the assignments for Bueno was just blown, and it left the gap open, and Carolina was able to push it forward for a nice return of 40 yards, starting at the 50-yard line for this first drive of the half for them.
So Catalina's quarterback, Holm, has looked really good too. He's made a lot of good decisions. Again, for the audience that's watching at home, what we've seen is them kind of run this base offense with the Catalina quarterback, Holm, getting up underneath center, and he kind of runs this option where he's usually going to hand it off to try to cut between the defensive tackle and the defensive end, or he's going to kind of use that to set up this one kind of a bootleg pass, play-action pass that'll get out there. So he's back underneath, Holm up underneath center. He's got 2 wide receivers. Going to move number 6 there in motion. Handoff right in between. He's going to get hemmed up just a little bit, maybe about 3 yards.
For about 3 yards.
And Catalina's sticking with that motion before the snap. Most of the time it's either a wide receiver or a tight end. And then they're pulling the offside guy back around, just getting a kick-out block, trying to create the holes up the middle.
Holm gets down underneath center. He's got the same package before, just reversed. 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 single running back. Drops back for pass. He's going to get sacked, and that's a huge loss and an amazing play. It looks pretty close to about a 10-yard loss.
With Jesse Avina was number 25, Jose Cheno.
And that was, you know, they've gotten back there a few times, but that was just blown coverage by somebody. Great play by the defensive end.
3rd and 15.
Yeah, the defensive end, he came unblocked, and he did exactly what he was supposed to do. He didn't try to run through the quarterback. He broke down when he got there, and he made sure he got the sack. Too many times when you got a free rusher like that, they go too fast, and you'll just see him blow right by the quarterback, and the quarterback's able to step up. But Chinho didn't allow that there and got the big 10-yard sack.
Same play. They're going to kind of run. That was the old Nebraska play that we used to run down in Texas, where both the guard and the tackle both pulled out, did a little bit of G-power to knock out the defensive end.
Yeah, but the snap never got up to the quarterback there, and he dropped it right on the ground. He's really lucky to get that back. When you drop it under the center like that, that ball can bounce anywhere.
Jacob Murphy about 15 yards in front of him.
According to the down market, it says it's 3rd down, but Catalina's – oh, no, they just switched to the 4th down. So 4th down, Catalina's out to punt.
A little bit of Madden right there, punting on 3rd down. But no, it's 4th down. Catalina set back to punt. The punt is up. It's going to sail back down towards the 20 and get a favorable bounce for the Colts. Come to a stop around the 18, touched by Catalina. And that's going to bring Gio back out here with this Colts offense.
Yeah, we'll be watching to see if the Colts offense can keep that same rhythm they had on that first drive, just chewing yards, chewing clock, and just imposing their will on the defense. And then maybe if they keep doing that, it'll open up another big play that they've lived on to score this game.
Gio comes up. He's going to be in the shotgun. Going to have a single back behind him, 3 wide receivers to the right. Quick up in a quick screen pass. Garrett's not going to get anywhere on that one. Now, you know, that play may have developed a little bit too quick because the other receivers didn't get a chance to actually get their corners and their linebackers moved back before that ball went. Looks like we're going to have a little bit of an injury. We're going to go ahead and we're going to take a quick moment while they sort this part all out.
Welcome, sports fans, to Cochise County Sports Network. Tonight's live broadcast brought to you by Lolly Automotive Group for all your new and used car needs. Edward Jones Investments, making sense of investing. Apex Network Physical Therapy. Cochise Lock and Safe for all your lock and safe needs. Nova Home Loans. Check out the Leon team, highest rated owned by those we serve. And last but not least, Lights Out Family Fun Center. Tonight we have the Foothill Falcons live and in full HD only on Cochise County Sports Network.
You know, it looks like Colts player just potentially just a cramp, but we're think he'll be okay, but we're not going to make any speculative decisions on that. So, David, you know, the Colts started off this, you know, chewing up about 5 minutes worth of clock, and I think probably the most definitive thing that's happened is they got a good stop against the Falcons, and it was legitimate stops. You know, it was just standing up and doing some hard-nosed football, getting to the quarterback, a nice sack, loss of yardage, loss of downs, just good football.
Yeah, the key against these traditional offenses that Catalina is running is you got to get them behind the sticks. You got to make them uncomfortable where running the ball is not the play. If you can make them drop back and pass, they clearly have shown they can do it, but they don't want to. That's the last option set up by the run. And so if you can put them in clear passing downs, they're uncomfortable, and that's where the Colts will have the advantage.
And again, if you're watching us on the Cochise County Sports Network, thank you very much. We appreciate the support. The student athletes appreciate the support. The cheerleaders, the band, all of it. And we're back to the game now. So the Colts are lining up. It's still second down, about 12 yards. They're lining up a little shy of their own 20. Gio's in the shotgun. Hands the ball off. It's going to just kind of move the pile up a few yards. Third down.
Jones gain 3, 3rd and 8.
Gio comes off real quick to get his next set of plays from Coach Thomas. You know, the Colts are going to have to come out with something here a little flashy. It's 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9.
Yeah, we haven't seen him open it up much in the second half passing the ball, but right now it's a clear passing down. Gio's shown he can throw the deep ball. Well, I don't think Catalina's going to give it to him here, so they're going to have to find something over the middle that's open.
Gio in the shotgun, got a single running back. He's got 2 wide receivers. A little bit of a low snap. He's getting pressure, but the pass is off. Oh, and it comes down. And that is an amazing, amazing catch with number 6. And he's going to pop back up, a little shaken up. What a great job by Schwinoff. And he has had some amazing catches this game. He's going to come down a little bit. He may have may have tweaked his leg just a bit, but he's moving.
Yeah. And that's Bueno pushing it down the sideline all game. The safety bailed out to the sideline and left the middle wide open. Gio threw it a little high, but Schwenoff was able to go up with one hand, Odell Beckham style, and bring it down for the nice 30-yard gain, putting the Colts 1st and 10 at the 50-yard line.
We're going to check on how many yards that Gio's got. He's going to keep kind of moving around the backside there to the left. He's going to scramble up, pick up about 5 yards. But I think out of the passing yards that we got a flag on the field. Anyways, back to Schwenoff. I think Schwenoff's probably got half the yardage that Gio's put up in the air this game. That guy has had some amazing, amazing catches.
And Gio has passed for 252 yards this game so far. And so he's putting up numbers of his own. He's 7 for 12, 252 yards with 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions.
Well, once again, so the Colts are going to get the holding penalty, and that'll be another one of those. That'll be a spot foul. Excuse me. 10-yard penalty on that one. And you know, they just get the drive going. This has been, I think, the 3rd series in a row where there's been, again, that mental mistake as they get close to the into the Falcons' territory. Falcons lining up with, you know, they only got 2 down linemen, and they got 2 kind of offset defensive ends. Oh, no, and they just go ahead, and Bryant slips, looking to do a little bit of a handoff flea flicker trick play. 1 minute left in the 3rd quarter.
Buena ran a little trick play there. Bryant was going to pull up and throw it deep, and the wide receiver was streaking deep, but unfortunately Bryant couldn't keep his feet under him, and he slipped out for the 6-yard loss, bringing up 3rd and forever. And believe it or not, this is where the Colts kind of excel, and when they're kind of back against this. But it's going to be another big play that Gio's going to have to come up with. He's got 1 running back there. He's got 2 wide receivers. Little quick out, and it's going to just get kind of stopped there with Bryant.
No gain on the play.
30 seconds left as this quarter kind of comes to a pretty ugly close. We'll see if they got time to get one more play off. And 3rd and 25, Gio comes up. He's going to have about a second or two here to get that ball off. And that's going to end the quarter. 21-17 Falcons.
At the end of 3 quarters, the score, Catalina Foothills 21, Buena 17.
We'll be back after this.
Welcome, sports fans, to Cochise County Sports Network. Tonight's live broadcast brought to you by Lolly Automotive Group for all your new and used car needs. Edward Jones Investments, making sense of investing. Apex Network Physical Therapy, come heal with us. Cochise Lock and Safe for all your lock and safe needs. Nova Home Loans, check out the Leon team, highest rated lender in Cochise County. SSVEC, owned by those we serve. And last but not least, Lights Out Family Fun Center. Tonight we have the Buena Colts taking on the Catalina Foothill Falcons, live and in full HD only on Cochise County Sports Network.
Now, this is Craig Mountain, David Lancer bringing Buena Colts football. We're in the 4th quarter, 21-17, Catalina Foothills Falcons, and which has been a competitive game. But starting the 4th quarter, the Colts are in a bit of dire straits.
Yeah, they're really behind the sticks here at 3rd and 25, and you don't have a play in the playbook to pick up 25 yards consistently. So it'll be interesting if Coach Thomas decides to play it safe with a run or a quick screen, or if he's going to try to pick up a big chunk of this and try to throw it over the top.
Yeah, knowing the way that Gio puts the ball up, I wouldn't bet against him. Gio in the shotgun takes it, looks back for a good pass. He's going deep again, and that's back over. Oh, just broken up. Schwinoff unable to bring that one down. But he definitely went for it.
Yeah, and you can see Catalina's philosophy there. The corner started 10 yards off the wide receiver, and he turned and sprinted from the time the ball was snapped, so he wasn't going to let anyone get behind him there. Gio just put it up for grabs a little bit, and we've seen Schwinoff come down with some phenomenal catches tonight. He wasn't able to come up with that one, so now we need a good punt by Buena to flip the field position.
Gonna kick us back. T-Will's got it. Nice little boot. It's going to float down a little bit short, and it's going to get an ugly bounce.
A horrible bounce back toward midfield.
The Falcons are going to pick it up around the 49-yard line.
At the 48-yard line.
Well, probably couldn't have gone any worse for that one series right there, David. But, first game of the season, there's going to be some of that. They'll have to kind of clean it up if they want to continue to move on this. This brings the Falcons' offense out, which got stopped their last series.
Yeah, and Buena's going to need another stop here. I mean, that third quarter only saw 3 possessions combined for both teams. And so if that keeps up, Buena's not going to have many more shots of this. So they got to get Catalina's offense off the field quick and get it back to their own offense.
Holm underneath center. It's going to motion for his wide receiver to come up behind him. He's going to hand the ball off. 23 is going to swoop around. He's going to try to get hooked that defensive end. He's going to pick up some pretty good yardage for a first down. It's going to bring up about 2nd and 5.
Down the 47-yard line. We'll say 2nd and 5.
Holm, once again, just really managing his team. Looking really good. Underneath center, he's got 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers. Not going to motion anybody. He's going to run again right up the middle. And the Colts are going to kind of toughen up and stop that run. But it is going to bring up 3rd and about 2 yards.
Just inside the 45.
And here the Colts defensive line and linebackers are going to show what they're made of. Catalina's run it all game on them. They're over 150 yards for the game. And they need this 3rd down stop, 3rd and 2. This is where you show up, push the other team around, and plug up all the holes.
There's a lot of big bodies on the line as they line up. Holm, again, that's up underneath center. He's got 2 wide receivers. He's going to back off. He's going to hand it off. This guy's going to have a massive hole, and he's going to run it all the way in, and that's going to be just shy of the goal line. Looks like it's going to be around the 3-yard line where he's brought down. And, again, it's that quick slash. They just punch out the defensive end, and they bring a hook around and basically drive that defensive tackle in, and there's nobody in the hole.
Yeah, and it looked like he was off to the races, but Bryant never gave up on that play, and he tackled him at the 3-yard line, setting up 1st and goal. So it's giving his defense a chance to keep him out of the end zone, keeping this a 1-possession game.
Holm gets his formation set. He's going to line up underneath center. He's got 1 wide receiver, 1 tight end, 2 running backs. Hand the ball off, and they're just going to dive it right through, getting stuffed. And they're going to hold him up there at the goal line. And, again, that hole opened up, but this time the linebacker for the Colts just dove right in there and made the tackle.
Yeah, so job 1 done. Stopped him on 1st down, but you still got to stop him for the next 2. And this is really going to show what the Colts are made of.
And they got to be careful. You know, the wide receiver that's number 3 that's playing over, he's got one-on-one, but the Colts can't. Holmes going to try to keep it and push the pile, and he's going to get in. That's a touchdown. So the Falcons are going to take a 10-point lead with 9:31 left in the game, ending the extra point. with Holm just driving the pile back behind that big center that he's got that's blocked so well all game. And the Falcons will line up for the extra point.
Bowling to kick.
Ball's down, the kick is up, and that looks like it's going to be good. 8-point lead, Falcons, 27-17, 9:31 left in the fourth quarter. David, what do you think?
So that's just Catalina getting back to what they've done all game. It was a 5-play drive for 52 yards, obviously cemented by that one big 45-yard scamper on third and 3. But that's what Catalina's done all game, and that puts them up at 224 rushing yards this game on 27 carries. So they're getting up there around probably like 7 yards a carry.
Yeah, and I'm not sure exactly. We'd have to go back and watch some more of the tape of the replays, but you got the big center and you got their guard blowing up the defensive tackle. Then the tackle on either side is blowing up the defensive end. It creates a massive hole, and somewhere within that glom of humanity, the linebacker's getting hemmed up as well.
Yeah, Catalina's doing a really good job of misdirection. Quarterback looks one way, gets the linebackers to flow that way, and then just hands it off coming back the other way to the running back. And so people think that quarterbacks can only confuse people with their eyes on passing plays, but you can do the same thing on run plays, trying to get the linebackers to move over and create a hole for your running back. Catalina kicks it off again. And as they've done all game, he's able to put it in the end zone for the touchback, so Bueno will take over at the 20-yard line.
We want to thank everybody for tuning in to tonight's game. Thank you all. If you've had a good time, go ahead and like it. No matter which social media service that you're on, go ahead and share it. Let everybody know about the game. If you're watching from the Catalina foothills, welcome. Thank you very much for your support. And obviously for everybody here in Sierra Vista and other places, and all the Wayna alumni and graduates who continue to support this type of technology and these efforts. Thank you again to our sponsors. Gio's coming up. He's going to get up underneath center. He's going to have 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers to the left. Motions 1 wide receiver back. He's going to hand the ball off, I think, to Jones right up the middle. And he's still driving his feet. So he's going to pick up a good 4 or 5 yards, a lot of it on the secondary effort.
Yeah, yards after contact there is all 6 yards that he gained. And that shows that Buena's not giving up on this. He wants those yards, and he's going to drive his legs to go get those yards.
It's like we got a timeout on the field. You know, one of the things with the Colts never really do is they don't get too worried about being down by 7 or 8 points at any given time. 10 or 11 points, they don't care about that too much either, especially when it gets down to this part of the fourth quarter. They've tended to come back from bigger deficits than this, and this is typically when their heart kind of starts to show through. But they do have to do it in a disciplined way. They can't make any mistakes along the way, and they're going to definitely need some big old plays.
Yeah, I mean, since that first quarter, they haven't had the big play opportunity that they took advantage of so well early on, and we're hoping that they have a chance at that, but they've kind of switched it up here. Nope. Now Gio will go back to his customary shotgun stance.
Yeah, this is kind of that misdirection offense that they ran so much last time. Gio's just going to go. He's going to option it off. Bryant out in space is continue to spin, do Madden moves, push the pile, and he absolutely looked fantastic on that run. Again, just an amazing athlete in space. And that misdirection offense that they ran so much last year.
Yeah, and that play was dead in the water at the line. They had someone on the quarterback. They had someone on the pitch man. But when your pitch guy is Bryant, who can make 2, 3, 4 people miss, it creates a whole nother dynamic for the offense. And he worked. I mean, that was all on Bryant to get that first down.
I think Bryant spun around about 5 times to get out of that pile. Misdirection. Timeout on the field. Well, you know, especially, you know, with some of the bigger games that we saw last year, that formation that Gio would go out there and line up where he'd have either, you know, Bryant or Jones on either side of him. He's got two running backs just kind of, you know, about a yard behind him to either side. It allows him to move with them. It allows him to kind of drop back and have them as extra blockers, do options, do screen passes, do little quick rushes to the inside. He's got so many different options with that little misdirection formation.
Yeah, and that's what all offense is playing the numbers game. And so the longer you can make the defense have to make a decision, the better the offense is going to be. And so putting both Gio or Bryant out in space makes the defense make a decision. And right there, Bryant shows what he's capable of when you just give him that tiny bit of space to work with.
You got 8 minutes and 10 seconds left in the game. The Falcons are up 28-17. The Colts have the ball on the 40. Gio Bourbon back in the quarterback, lined up. Shotgun formation, two running backs, two wide receivers to the left. He's going to hand this one off. No, he's going to pull it back and just kind of dump it off again to Bryant, who's going to make another person miss, but he's not going to pick up much on that one. Sometimes you can get a little too creative. The Falcons' defense hasn't played a bad game at all. I mean, they've been pretty stout. You know, there's been some of the big plays that have gotten them, but there's only been a few big plays that have gotten them. Gio in the shotgun. Hands the ball off to Bryant, who's going to cut it up. He's going to try to turn the corner. He's going to pick up about 3 or 4 yards.
He's down up at 44.
It'll be third down.
All that space was created by the outside wide receiver, and he came back on what's called a crackback. And it's pretty much just a quick slant in, and he's trying to pick up the outside linebacker as he flows out to take away that space. And that the wide receiver was able to take that outside linebacker out of the play, creating that space for Brian to get up the field for 5 or 6 yards.
We got an injured player down on the line. We're not going to speculate. We're going to go ahead and we'll go to commercial.
Welcome, sports fans, to Cochise County.
We're back. It looks like the player from the Falcons was just a little shaken up, walked off the field. So 7 minutes, 14 seconds left in the game, 28-17. The Catalina Foothills Falcons coming in here and being very competitive. The Colts have the ball. It's third down, pretty close to their 45 as they continue to try to put together a drive. And so far, this whole series has been Bryant. Gio in the backfield. Got 3 wide receivers in. We got a flag. I didn't see who that one was against.
Offsides on Catalina.
It's like, yeah. Offsides on Catalina. Gio giving him a nice big applause. I'm sure he's looking forward to the extra 5 yards, given the circumstances. This actually goes to be in some pretty decent field position if they can get a little bit of a scrape from any one of these guys. Gio's in the shotgun formation. Got 1 running back, 3 wide receivers, 2 of those to the left. He's going to pull it up, and he's going to try to run the ball. He's going to get the first down, make one guy miss. He's going to continue to drive down. He's moving down towards the 30. What a great, great athletic play.
And that's just Gio being creative. He wanted the swing pass to Bryant, but it wasn't open. And so he pulled it down, found the hole, made one guy miss, and picked up 21 yards for the first down, setting up a 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line.
And Gio runs back in after getting his plays from Coach Thomas. He's going to go back up to the 30-yard line. First down, driving against this Falcons. Same formation. He's going to have 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. He's going to have 1 running back there with him while he's in the shotgun. He's going to hand that ball off to Bryant. It's going to get swallowed up behind. Great play. Number 52 on the Falcons.
And right there, you saw 52 set the edge really well. They were trying to get a quick hitter to Bryant to get outside, but 52 turned him back inside, and they were able to make the tackle for 5-yard loss, putting Buena behind the chains and playing catch-up again.
That was one of the defensive tackles there, so he just kind of blew right through the center and the guard somewhere in there. Colts come back up to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 15. Gio back in the shotgun. Single running back there with him. He's got 2 wide receivers to the right. He's going to keep the ball, but he's going to cut it up. Quick pass up, and they're going to call that incomplete. Bounced off the ground. Tim Jones was the intended receiver. Looks like he slipped it. The ball was low.
Yeah, Gio was just never able to get his feet under him to make that throw. So it came out a little soft, came in a little low, and Jones made a great effort at it, tried to get his hands under it, but the ref said that it bounced up off the turf into his chest, so that brings up a 3rd and 15 for Buena.
Coach Thomas have any red flags in this game? Is he allowed to challenge anything? Probably not. Cheerleaders are out here getting the crowd and the band. I think the cheerleaders and the band are having a cheer off. Gio in the shotgun, 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Running back there with him. And we've got a flag. Possible delay of game. I think the cheerleaders beat the band in the cheer off. At least they're acting like it, but I've never seen cheerleaders in a bad mood, so. And once again, you know, the Colts just starting to pile up the mistakes, running out of time. 4 wide receivers, 1 running back, Gio in the shotgun. He's getting a lot of pressure. He throws it off, gets it to Bryant, but Bryant's going to get, again, brought back down, nowhere close to the line of scrimmage.
35.
Yeah, right now Gio's not getting much time back there. Catalinas has a great push, and he's getting to his 3rd or 5th step of his drop and having to just take off real quick, and he was able to get to Bryant there. So it's a 5-yard gain at least, setting up a 4th and 15. Buena definitely has to go for it here with only 5 minutes left and down by 11.
Well, and the hard thing here is that the Catalina, the Falcons, they're only putting 2 or 3 guys on the line of scrimmage, and they're getting penetration. So they've got 5 linebackers, 4 linebackers. What do they got? Yeah, pretty much their entire team in the backfield except for 3 of them. Gio pulls up looking for a pass. He does find Jones right over there, and that's going to be a 1st down. Great play by Gio. Good catch.
And that is phenomenal for Buena. It's not often that you get a 4th and 15 and are able to convert. So hopefully they can turn this into more yards and hopefully push this into the end zone, cutting into that 11-point lead.
Gio back in the misdirection formation. He's back there with 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers. Hands the ball off. It's like Bryant's going to run through. He gets tripped up, but he's going to pick up about 2 or 3 yards.
17-yard line gain, a couple on play.
Bring up 2nd down.
And we wanted to see a sustained drive from Buena, and right now this drive's sitting at 10 plays, 63 yards, 6 running plays, 4 passing plays. And so they're keeping it very balanced. But right now they are pushing the clock a little bit because they have to score twice, so they need to pick up the pace a little bit.
Gio in the shotgun. He's got 4 wide receivers. Drops back. Nice pass, but that just comes down. Looks like Schwinoff slipped a little bit on that one. That does stop the clock. 3 minutes, 40 seconds left. 28-17 Falcons, although the Colts are driving.
Yeah, and, I mean, it brings up a 3rd and 9 or 8 yards. And right there, they had the play they wanted. It was a quick slant. Looked like the ball slipped a little bit out of Joe's hands. Schwinoff slipped a little bit coming out of his cut, so it just wasn't working for him right there. But they get another shot at it here, and they're spreading them out on 4 wide.
Gio floats it up again. It's a little high, and that might be incomplete. Jones gets tangled up with the defender. 4th down, long way to go, and they really do need to keep a score. I don't think that they're going to go for a field goal on this. I think they're going to go all for it right here and then figure out what to do on the defensive side.
And that just shows the little gunslinger mentality. But he just put it up, hoping he could make a play, and unfortunately for Buena, it fell short. Brings up a 4th and 9, the biggest play of the game so far.
Gio's going to come out, 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Referee on timeout towards Buena. Well, they're going to go ahead and they're going to talk about what this is, maybe take a look at the defense. But to be honest with you, David, I mean, the defense isn't bringing a whole lot, but they're still getting penetration. He's going to be facing maybe 2 or 3 down linemen, and everybody else is going to be sitting back there near the 1st down marker and or the end zone.
Yeah, if I'm Coach Thomas, I'm trying to get Gio out of the pocket a little bit. He's proven he can run the ball, so put him on the perimeter somewhere. Give him that option of if there's space in front of him to get the 1st down, let him pull it down and run. Or if a wide receiver breaks open, he can just show the touch he showed all game and put it into a window and move the chains for him.
You know, believe it or not, the Colts have been here before. And this is usually where they've seen some of the best work kind of come through. So it's really kind of hard to get real anxious when you're watching them because you know that they've done some of their best work in conditions like this.
I mean, on this drive alone, they faced a 4th and 15, which is against the odds as it gets with 5 minutes left, and they were able to convert that. So what's to say they can't convert this 4th and 9?
And as they say, that's why we play the game. I guess we're going to find out right here. Colts come out to the line of scrimmage. Gio gets up into the shotgun. He's got Bryant back there with him. 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Actually, 2 to the right. 3 down linemen. And nice play. He's going to get it out there into space with Bryant. He's going to make a miss and continue to cut it up. He's going to continue to fight through, but he's not going to get to the 1st yard line. What a great effort, though. The Falcons are going to take over on downs.
The Falcons have held and will take over 1st and 10 at their own 11-yard line.
Falcons 1st and 10 on their 11-yard line. 3 minutes and 27 seconds left to go, 28-17.
So the position we find ourselves in now is Buena has to get the 3 and out. They only have 1 timeout left. They have to score twice in the last 3 minutes and 27 seconds. So if this is not a 3 and out, Catalina will be able to just run the clock out and end this game.
Holm tries to get in there. He's going to get tackled. Still going to pick up some pretty good yardage for a 1st down. Just pushing the pile. It looks like he's going to pick up roughly 4 yards. Brings up 2nd down. Colts defense is going to have to figure this out because they're getting kind of slashed on the inside, but they can't put too many more bodies in there or they're going to get hit on the outside.
Right now, if you're the Colts, you're daring them to throw it. You put everyone in the box. You put Brian's out here alone on his wide receiver, and you say, if you throw it, great. That means we win. But right there, first guy throws the fullback, and he's able to pick up 5 yards, bringing up a 3rd and short.
It's about 3rd and 2 yards left to go. 2 minutes, 40 seconds. That time just continues to click away. The Colts are going to have to step up here and get a big stop.
And 3. Check that. 3rd and 1.
Defense gets down on the line. Holm gets up underneath the center. He's got pretty much a stacked field. He's going to move number 6 in motion again. They're going to slant it up, and that's going to be a first down, but there's laundry out there on the field. There's definitely a flag, possibly offsides or a false start. What do you think, David?
Oh, illegal shift.
Illegal shift. That's going to move him back a little bit, get some more breathing room. But again, the clock continues. 2 minutes, 12 seconds. It's stopped at the moment. 28-17 Falcons. Bring up about 3rd and 7.
This is the game right here. If the Colts can't come away with a stop, it will be game over. The Falcons will just need out to win the game.
Holmes stands up behind the back stretch. He's going to run the same exact play, and they're going to sweep that around, and he's going to get right through, and that's going to be a first down. And the clock's going to continue to run. There's only one timeout left, but a 2-minute warning. Not a 2-minute warning. Not in high school football. So 1 minute and 56 seconds. And that clock's going to start back up again. Holmes going to come up. Just take a knee. Well, David, what do you think? What do you think the story of this game was?
I mean, this is all about the rushing attack for the Catalina Foothill Falcons. They come away, they ran the ball 30 times for 242 yards. And that's great on the ground. And then they supplemented that. I mean, they only threw the ball 6 times, but they threw it 6. Holmes was 3 for 6 for 114 yards. So when they threw it, they were getting yards. He's averaged over 35 yards at a completion, which is great at this level. And so that kept Buena honest all game, which kept their running game going. And so they totaled 360 yards for the game, which is great for a high school football game.
What about for the Colts? Who do you think kind of their player of the game was?
We don't have the stats tracking the wide receivers, but it's got to be Schwinoff. I mean, he came up with 2 just phenomenal catches, going up over the guy, making the one-handed Odell Beckham catch at the 50-yard line. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough, but those 2 catches helped propel Gio to be 12 for 21 with 279 yards passing, but those 2 interceptions really hurt him in the first half.
Yeah, I like Bryant, playing both sides of the ball, a little bit of cornerback, a little bit of wide receiver, a little bit of running back. Well, this game's going to come to an end. It's going to end up being 28-17. The Catalina Foothills Falcons come in here, have a very competitive game with our Buena Colts, and that will now, Catalina will go to 1-0. The Colts will go to 0-1. But it was a very good, entertaining game, and we'll see what the Colts do next week when they go on the road. For David Lanstra, this is Craig Mount for the Cochise County Sports Network. Thank you all very much for watching.
All right, folks, for those who tuned in to Cochise County Sports Network tonight, we thank you so very much. A very tough match between the Buena Colts and the Catalina Foothill Falcons. However, in a very exciting match. We're going to be on the road next week. Next Friday, we're going to be traveling with the Buena Colts up to Tucson for a match. I don't have the schedule in front of me, so I'm not sure of the actual matchup, but we'll let you guys know here in the next couple of days. If not, check out our Facebook page. We have an events tab, which lists all of the games for our fall season so far. It'll be about 26 games between now and October 26th. Anyway, folks, if you guys were watching on Facebook, we certainly thank you. If you tuned in on YouTube tonight, there were a few of you. We certainly appreciate that. Also, svnn.news/sports. You guys can watch our live stream right there directly on the Sierra Vista News Network website. We're going to go ahead and call it quits for tonight, folks. We thank you so much for tuning in to tonight's broadcast, and we'll catch you next time. Welcome, sports fans, to Cochise County Sports Network. Tonight's live broadcast brought to you by Lolly Automotive Group for all your new and used car needs. Edward Jones Investments, making sense of investing. Apex Network Physical Therapy. Come heal with us. Cochise Lock and Safe for all your lock and safe needs. Nova Home Loans. Check out the Leon team, highest rated lender in Cochise County. SSVEC, owned by those we serve. And last but not least, Lights Out Family Fun Center. Tonight we have the Buena Colts taking on the Catalina Foothill Falcons. Live and in full HD, only on Cochise County Sports Network.